Chairman yields. Chairman from Florida, Mr. Haridopolos, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Begg, for coming in today. We appreciate your candor in these answers, and because we fire them at you right away. I think the area that I want to get into in the report is the frustration that these incidents, let's just say, at least of curiosity or concern, are usually go unaddressed. It's got to be frustrating in your role that you make a solid recommendation and no one ever follows up on the darn thing. And I'm excited about what DOGE has done. It gives even more opportunity to put sunshine on some of these matters and maybe can make your job easier to make sure those reforms are done so the folks who want to buy a house or get in a better living condition can make use of the good programs that are available as opposed to the fraudsters who unfortunately take advantage of the system. So let me ask you a very wide open question. They might have gotten into it earlier, but can you give a number or estimate how many high priority recommendations still remain open or unimplemented after the recommendations were made by your group to HUD?
Yes, we issued our Priority Open Recommendations Report for 2024 last year, and of the 35 we identified, I believe 24 remain open. We're in the process of updating that report and issuing a new one here in the next coming weeks, but the number will be in that 2030 zone.
And then, and if you can give a little color to the ones that were, quote, addressed. Did we see significant savings there? Or did we see arrests made, if fraud was conducted? What were the result of ones that were, quote, addressed?
Well, the recommendations that we're referencing are programmatic in nature. So we've seen enhancements in information security. We've seen HUD's rental assistance program offices take action to clarify guidance, to put protocols in place to better track health and safety issues. It's those types of issues that we're seeing.
And with that in mind, too, I as a former business person myself, ROI is what we always look at. You know, what do you get the most bang for the buck? And the idea is that, is there one that, some of these recommendations that would yield the most results? In twofold. One is, of course, savings. Of course, we're looking for that given the budget shortfalls. But the other, more importantly, is to assist folks who truly need it and make sure the fraudsters are kind of addressed. But that said, which one of these recommendations would you put at the top of the list where you would get the most benefit so that we can kind of focus on that as opposed to just looking at a number, in this last case being 35?
Sure. I'll give a twofold answer since you posed it two ways. In terms of fraud prevention, one of our priority open recommendations is creating stronger fraud risk management assessments across HUD's programs. If HUD starts the process of assessing those risks and builds prevention into its programs, that would reduce the negative impacts fraud has on its programs. With respect to financial recoveries, we did a review of how many people obtained FHA-insured loans who had delinquent federal tax debt. And in a one-year period, we estimated that $13 billion in FHA loans went to ineligible borrowers with federal tax debt, which would translate, in our view, to roughly a $6 billion monetary impact if you factor in the average loss rate for FHA on a mortgage. So taking action to obtain the tax information needed to prevent those ineligible borrowers from getting the loans in the first place could have a huge impact on HUD's Mutual Mortgage Insurance Fund.
With that in mind, Mr. Begg, whose fault was it that these were approved in the first place? Was it a fraudulent application, or was it the actions of the folks working at HUD who made a mistake?
It's hard to say. Our review examined how many folks with delinquent federal tax debt obtained loans. The reason or the state of mind they had in obtaining those loans, we didn't examine. But what needs to happen is HUD either needs to obtain that information, and HUD believes it may require congressional authority to get that information from the IRS, or it needs to require mortgage lenders to obtain that in their review of the applications.
I want to just close with this, Mr. Chairman. I think the frustration a lot of folks feel is that they feel like the resources are there, the misallocation of funds, put it simply. And whether it be with Medicaid, HUD, so many vital programs where people are truly in need. It could be the disabled or folks in nursing homes in the Medicaid world, or in this case, folks are just getting on their feet and they're doing the right thing. They do it lawfully, but the folks who break the law never suffer a penalty. I mean, at some point, when people are either knowingly breaking the law, and it was shown by fact pattern, we have to put proverbially someone in handcuffs and say, you know, you're not going to defraud the United States anymore. And I think that the IG report needs to focus on simply who are the worst actors. And if folks are breaking the law, they're denying people benefits, let alone defrauding taxpayers. So I'm glad to see you lead this charge, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate you bringing the witness forth.